What is going on, Washington Commander fans? Another video coming at you from the Washington Command Post. My name is JD. We're going to dive into this today. This is a video about, they did like the entire NFC East, but I got to the Washington part and I was watching my child before I'm on my way to work right now. And yeah, I'm kind of just curious what everyone thinks of this. So go ahead and watch it. We'll kind of react together. So go ahead and listen here.
The last team we have, Jackie, is the Washington Commanders now. Jackie, they've their fans are eager for this team to get it turned around because that's a great place to play football over there. But they have new ownership. And do you think that after the 2023 season, or this coming 2023 season, this new ownership now is going to take charge, and the nightmare is going to be over with who is leading the team?
Well, I think they're off to a fresh start. Congratulations to Josh Harris and Magic Johnson for acquiring one of the storied franchises in the history of the National Football League, the Washington Commanders now. And you know, I like what Magic Johnson said. He said that the reason why he wanted to be a part of this group is because he wants to win. He wants to win. You and I watched Magic all of his career. This guy was as committed to winning basketball as anybody I ever saw. So I thought that was really, really good. And what I'm expecting now is a really good team to maybe come out of the chute a little bit slow. You know, they got a new offensive coordinator in Eric Bieniemy. He's not only offensive coordinator, but he's the assistant head coach. They've entrusted him with the building of the offense they're going to have. They've invested in their offensive line. They brought Andrew Wiley, who we thought would struggle in the Super Bowl, who actually played a really good game. And the thing that I think that was key, bringing Wiley there, Vince, is that he can express to the Commanders' offensive linemen that are there the different nuances of blocking in the West Coast offense run by Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid. There are different little things that I would notice about their offensive line. I said, wait, and I think Andrew Wiley is going to be able to introduce.
I got some comments on that. I mean, I think the fact that Eric Bieniemy is not Scott Turner is automatically a massive upgrade. My personal opinion, I think it's a massive, massive upgrade over Scott Turner. Scott Turner did not, how to put this? He did not call plays to compensate for weaknesses. He also didn't call plays to take advantage of his strengths. He was very bad at that. Okay, he would not call pass protection. He would not call 3-step drops, get rid of the ball quick whenever we couldn't block against the Eagles, against the Lions in the first half. He just called like 7-step drops, trying to throw the ball as deep as possible all the time, and didn't give quarterback, which I don't think Carson Wentz was great. Don't get me wrong, but I think any decent offensive coordinator other than Scott Turner probably could have had a better outcome with Carson Wentz. I mean, you got to look at it from a logical perspective. We went 8-1 last year. We had Carson Wentz, who he had some moments that were great, especially the first game of the season. Okay, and he had some moments, but he also had a lot of bad moments. Some of those bad moments were not his fault, 100%. I think there's a lot of issues with play calling that you're gonna, against the Eagles, get sacked 9 times and you keep calling 7-step drops. I don't understand it. Call some, get the ball out quick. The guy's got a cannon for an arm. He can put the ball anywhere, like instantly. But you're calling all these slow developing plays and he gets sacked. I digress. I'm not gonna get too much into depth about all the flaws of Scott Turner. But you're not calling plays to alleviate the offensive line when they're not the best offensive line. You're not calling plays. You're not having balance to your plays. You call all these trick plays at random moments that just kills momentum. Eric Bieniemy's not going to do that shit. Okay, he's not. So automatically, there's a massive upgrade over the previous offensive coordinator. If we'd have changed nothing else with the offense and just brought in Eric Bieniemy, problem solved. Okay, Eric Bieniemy last year we probably would have won 10 games with Eric Bieniemy as a coordinator last year. He is that much more improved that he would compensate for 2 losses. I'm at least 1. We can probably agree at least 1, and probably would have won the game we tied. Okay, so that's what I have to say about that. I think we would have easily won, not tied, and we would have won 1 more game, probably the second Giants game easily, if we'd just had Eric Bieniemy an offensive coordinator. Even with Taylor Heinicke, I think he'd have done better with Taylor Heinicke for sure. Not sure about Carson Wentz. But I think the style of offense would have fit Taylor Heineke immensely. He's more of a West Coast quarterback anyway, rather than a Eric Coryell deep downfield driving pass play kind of quarterback. He's more of a dink and dunk, quick 3-step drop, get rid of it, quick kind of quarterback. It would have fit his play style and his skill set much better to have Eric Bieniemy than Scott Turner. Scott Turner never had Taylor Heineke run RPO. He never had him rolling out and throwing the ball. Never. He never did those things. Eric Bieniemy's going to do that stuff with Samuel Howell and make it immensely better. Like the fact that we got Eric Bieniemy and we got rid of Taylor Heineke kind of upsets me a little bit, because Eric Bieniemy is going to make Taylor Heineke a much better backup. Wouldn't have made Taylor Heineke it would have made him a better starter. Don't get me wrong, but I still don't think Taylor Heineke is better than Sam Howell. Sam Howell is a much better skill set that's going to translate to long-term NFL success than Taylor Heineke. But I think Taylor Heineke would have been a much better backup under this offensive coordinator than what we had under Scott Turner. Just saying. I don't dislike Jacoby Brissett. He's the ultimate. He's kind of like an Alex Smith kind of player. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes, but he also doesn't take a lot of big risks. But hey, the Browns were pretty efficient with him at quarterback last year, so that's a different discussion. But so let them continue.
Kind of in practice on a daily basis some of these things, so he was a good addition to the team. But make no mistake about it, Vince. When you think about these guys, Montez Sweat, Darren Payne, Jonathan Allen, and then Chase Young coming back off his injury, these guys are all. How do you
see? To me, this is how I kind of got to question your football acumen when you don't even know the guy's freaking name. This is like every time a pundit last year would say Tyler Heineke instead of Taylor Heineke. How do you not be able to read right off the paper in front of you, or do any research prior to the week you're about to call a football game and not know it's Taylor Heineke? Okay? That guy just called him Daron, or it's Daron Payne. He called him Darren. Okay? How do you not know this stuff? It just pisses me off that there are people out there in the world who do this for a living and they still can't pronounce a goddamn name correctly. Sorry, go ahead.
underrate
those guys are good.
How do you underrate 4 first-round draft picks that are all 26 or under? How do you?
They got a young group for a long time. They're going to be.
And not only are they young, but they're very talented. And the thing that I always notice when I look at defensive linemen is how they handle themselves in different situations. When a double team comes at them, are they getting blown out, or are they dropping to a knee and making that double team go over the top of them? And they still have an opportunity to make that play from the middle. Are they getting after the quarterback? When they get isolated, one-on-one situation on 3rd and long, can they beat their guy? And each and every one of these guys are capable of individual pass rush that is supreme. So they're going to start right there with some really good defensive minds. You know, the head coach is a defensive-oriented guy.
Rivera,
the defensive coordinator is a defensive-oriented guy.
Del Rio.
Del Rio. I mean, these guys are going to be successful. They had years and years and years of coaching in the National Football League, and now they got some supremely gifted young men to work with, starting up front. So that, for me, makes the Washington Commanders, an improving. I see them as an improving team. I don't see them coming out and challenging for the number 1 spot in their division right away, because Eric Bieniemy is going to have to work out the game.
I'm going to have to pause this for a second, because he said something earlier that I've been thinking about that I didn't respond to. He said we're going to start out slow. I don't think we're going to start the season slow. We're going to start out fast and may hit a bump or two because we got some tough competition. But we started the season off against the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals are rated to be the worst team in the NFL this year. They may not have Kyler Murray start the season. It may be Colt McCoy. So that's a factor that we're going to have to deal with. Let's turn that a little bit. There we go. Just throwing that out there. That's a factor we're going to have to deal with. and Colt McCoy, we got to deal. Colt McCoy is going to have his lunch eaten. It's going to be a sack party on Colt McCoy. That offensive line is not very good. They don't really have any great weapons anymore. So a lot of not great stuff from the Arizona Cardinals. So we're going to start out fast. I mean, we started out actually very fast last year. Carson Wentz started the season off with 4 touchdowns, 300 passing yards, 2 picks. But offense just came out there and just slung the ball like crazy, man. So I don't think we're going to start off slow. We may hit like a little bit of a speed bump in the middle because we have some tough games back to back to back. But what's going to make it different this year is last year the offense was completely inept. Could not score other than like a couple games with Carson Wentz. and we didn't have the offensive mindset to change like strategy. So I'll go in this again. I've done it in many other videos, but if you've never seen the video before, this is my opinion. Against the Jaguars, the reason why we were so effective against Jaguars was because a lot of plays were called early that got the ball out of Carson Wentz's hands very fast. You watch the game film, you will see exactly that trend. The ball got out of his hand quick. He got it out to his Jahan Dotson, to Terry McLaurin. He got it out quick. He didn't give the defense a chance to sack him. It also made the defense not blitz a lot. It gave him very basic looks. In the first half, that's why the first half against the Jaguars, we were so effective offensively. Okay? And in the second half, he threw 2 picks. It happens. It's part of football. But then we started throwing the short passes again. They start creeping up. What we do, 2 bombs deep. That's the 4 touchdowns. 2 from dinking and dunking and working it out in the field with Carson Wentz. And then the second half, when the defense is cheating up, trying to take away their short passes, we burn them deep. Okay, now we're going to do that kind of the opposite. That seems to be the strategy this year with a West Coast offense. So let's look at week 2. Week 2, Scott Turner's like, oh, we can throw the ball deep because I have a guy who throw the ball deep. Let's just call every play a 7-step drop and try to throw the ball deep. First half, no offensive effectiveness at all. Could not throw the ball deep. None of the pass plays, no one was even in route really because they were long developing plays. Carson Wentz getting hit or having to throw the ball away before he gets to the top of a 7-step drop. We had nothing that happens in the first half against Detroit Lions. Second half of Detroit Lions, we actually start dinking and dunking a little bit, and we start moving the ball. We get some points on the board. We're able to actually drive the ball deep a couple times because we're working the defense and making them work for it. It negates the blitz. It negates any kind of pressure, and so on and so forth. And we just never go back to that again. I think the third game of the season was the Eagles. And Scott Turner goes right back to the strategy of dropping back 7-step drops every time. And Carson Wentz gets sacked 9 times. And that really is just like the epitome. We had like 6 quarters of good offense, and that's about it. And Scott Turner is just inept when it comes to understanding momentum. He doesn't understand how you can call plays to alleviate. What is more likely to fix? What can be fixed better? Can you fix your offensive line in the middle of the season? No, unless you can't magically get more talented overnight. Okay? You can't. It doesn't happen that way. Wish it did, but it doesn't. Okay? So you can't just magically snap your fingers and get more talented overnight. Okay? Is that more likely? No. Is it more likely that, or more possible, I should say, that you could have a play caller call plays that don't put the offensive line in unwinnable situations? Yeah. Could you have a play caller call plays like run plays that don't that aren't super that are gonna help set up the pass later because it's gonna put the defense on their heels? Sure. Are you gonna have plays called that screens to stop the pass rush? You're gonna call things that counter blitzes? You can. But did Scott Turner do a lot of those things? No. Okay, so this is where I think where the problem lies. A lot of people say the quarterback play was bad too. Don't get me wrong, quarterback play was not great last year. It was not great, but there's so many things you can do as an offensive coordinator to alleviate bad quarterback play. Okay, there are teams that win football games with bad quarterback play. Okay, I'm going to bring an example up. Kyle Shanahan consistently has to play with not the quarterback he planned on playing with. You can say what you want. Jimmy Garoppolo is not a great quarterback, and he's won game with Jimmy, and he won games last year with the Mr. Relevant Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy. So don't tell me it can't be done. You can call plays. You can be smart about how you call your plays and how you set things up to put people in very successful situations rather than putting them in unwinnable situations, just throwing your hands up like, oh, well, I guess we're not going to win that one. That's the way I believe Scott Turner calls plays. And, just massive. God, I'm going to get back to playing it. I'll let it finish out and then we'll comment. But what I want to get at with that pause is we're not going to start the season off slow. What we're going to start the season off with is a game, an easy game, or quote unquote easy game. I don't want to say no NFL game is really easy, but it's going to be easier. So
the whole team's got to learn a new offense. It's going to take some time, but over the next few years, I think they're going to be special.
I have to agree. I think Magic Johnson coming to the team and the new Josh Harris ownership is going to make a big difference in the way this team is perceived and goes forward. Magic says, it's not about the money. I'm here to win.
Right.
And he's going to get his community involved. He's going to bring back. But the Washington Commanders have always been tops on defense. They always think defense first. But offense, they bring in Eric Bieniemy, who's established with the Kansas City Chiefs. He brings a lot of experience in the West Coast offense, Jackie. And he doesn't have a lot to work with, Jacoby Brissett. But, this is a team I see, as you do, that moving forward, they're going to improve and improve and improve. And because the ownership's not going to stand pat. They want to win.
They came to win.
They want to win.
They said.
So how do you predict the Redskins? How do you predict the Commanders finishing this year?
It's going to be they might push for the third spot, but I see them being last in the conference.
Yeah, I see him, but I do see him
division.
improving in time.
Improving in time
over the next.
That's going to
couple
all
years.
change over the next year and a half too.
It will change. It will change. Well, we hope you enjoy our predictions. That's the NFC East, another tough division. If you're fans of any of those teams, let us know what you think. Comment.
All right, so I really want just someone to show me their work. I want someone to show me how they get to these predictions. Okay, Washington went 8-1 last year. Okay, 8-1. We had a horrible quarterback play. We had a bad offensive line. We had bad play calling, which didn't help the offensive line or the quarterback. Okay, in one swoop, we've pretty much fixed those problems. Okay, we've pretty much fixed those problems. Better offensive coordinator means better play calling. Better offensive coordinator means offensive line is not going to be behind the 8 ball all the time. Okay, and a better offensive coordinator makes the quarterback better. All those things add up to having a much better season. So how do they go from that? And our defense is still top 5, and it got better. So I don't understand everyone's math that Washington's gonna get worse than they were last year. I don't see that. Personally, I don't see that. I don't see how any pundits do that. But apparently these pundits do, but no one's going to show their work and explain how they got to the conclusion that Washington is going to do less than 8-1 than they did last year. Okay? I don't know if everyone knows this or not. I don't know if everyone remembers this, but Washington did beat the Eagles. Okay? We did beat the Eagles, the quote best team in the league, one of the best teams in the league. Okay? They're a good team. I'm not going to kind of slight them at all. They're a pretty good team. But we're one of the few teams that beat that team last year. Okay, we are one of the few. And I'm just merging here. Okay. Okay, we're one of the few teams that actually beat them last year. Okay, and I think it's a fluke that we lost to the Giants. We should beat the Giants handily both times we played them. Some stupid things that happened in that game come down to just like one or two plays are the difference between victory and a tie. Victory, defeat, or a tie in those games. So, and it's very bright. I don't know if you can see how bright it is on my face right now. Wow. And I think the Cowboys, we almost beat them with Carson Wentz. We were competitive through the entire game. We almost beat them with Carson Wentz. So, it's just so many things that I don't get how they're just ignoring all these things. There's a couple games we have where a ball bounce here or there and we win, and we're looking at a 10-win, 9, 10, 11-win team. Just these little one-off things, really. So, but I'm not going to get too much into that anymore. I just wanted to showcase these guys. I didn't actually watch it, to be fair, so I didn't know what they were going to say or whatever. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now with it. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you guys agree with these guys? I hope you wouldn't. But, maybe you do. All right. So this is JD. This has been the Washington Command Post. And, yeah, it's going to ramp up some more videos when it comes to this season. Now I know where I'm at. I had to detour around work, and I usually use GPS to detour around work, but now I know exactly where I'm at. So, yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you're looking at my hat, I'm not a Patriots fan. I get this all the time at work, so hopefully I can get that. That right there is from the AFL, the Arena Football League. The Washington had a team called the Washington Valor. Fanatics had this on sale for like $4 on their website. So I was like, you know what, that looks pretty cool. I'll take it. So that's what this hat's for, and I wear it to work. It's a comfortable hat, so I like to wear it. It's comfortable. Also gets people thinking I'm a Patriots fan, which I'm not. So it just sparks a football conversation at work. But yeah, that's my video. I want to thank everyone for watching. Hail to the Commanders. Have a good one, and see you.